Real estate investing. Most people that know me understand that I invest in real estate, specifically multifamily properties, because I believe it's a great way to make money. I love real estate, and I feel like it's less risky of all the ways to invest your money. But what I don't talk about usually is the way I manage my holdings. Why do I do the things that I do? For me, it's been more than just a way to make money and to build wealth. It's a way for me to give back, because I've seen some horrible things in my life, and I realize now as an adult, thinking back, and the decisions that I make and the efforts that I go through to help people and provide affordable housing all stem back to things that I experienced and witnessed as a child. There's this one particular image that always comes back, and I've never forgotten it. And I remember this boy. I grew up in a poor neighborhood, economically depressed. And I was about in the 3rd or 4th grade. So I was a little girl, and I remember this boy. He would stand by the trash area where we would dump our trays. And he would stand there and he would wait to get leftover food and milk that the students didn't finish. He was always hungry, and he would just stand there and he would grab the food and eat it and try to grab as much as he can before it got dumped. And I remember feeling so sad for him, and I would save my food for him and I would let him take it. I would hold my tray for him so he could get it. But I remember thinking that must be his only meal. This was all the food that he would get, the school lunch and whatever leftovers he could get from other kids. And I just remember his face and how it made me feel to see that. And it's something that I use as a lesson with my own kids when they complain about dinner or what they're eating. I've told them that story so many times, and it still makes me sad to this day thinking about it, and I have to stop myself sometimes because I feel like I want to cry, especially as a mother. But how has that impacted me as a landlord? Well, when I buy a new property, I have existing tenants that are there already, and sometimes they're not wealthy individuals, and they're living paycheck to paycheck. And I don't automatically raise the rent on my tenants. I usually allow them to stay at whatever rent it is that they're paying, at least for 1 year. And in some cases, I've had tenants for 10 or more years where I've never raised the rent on them. If I can make it work and break even, I'm happy. I'm not greedy. I have enough. I'm okay with keeping a low rent for someone that is trying to get by and trying to provide a decent life for their family. I'm not going to be the person that is the reason that a kid goes to bed hungry at night. That's not me. I'm not living my life like that. I have enough. I'm happy with what I have. I live a good life. I own properties that are going to appreciate in value. I don't need to squeeze like blood out of a stone. So I'm happy to offer my existing tenants to stay at the market rent if that's what they can afford. And when I do raise the rent, because there are times that I do have to raise the rent, it's never more than 1% to 2%. And again, if I know that they can't pay it, I'm not going to raise it. There are times when I have tenants move out, then of course I'm going to, fix up the property and I'm going to rent out at market rent to a new tenant. But I've never kicked out an existing tenant, and I've never raised the rent on an existing tenant to a level that they couldn't afford. So I believe that in capitalism, there's room for kindness. I love capitalism. I love the country that we live in and the opportunities that we're afforded. I'm living the American dream. I'm not complaining. But I believe in capitalism with a heart. I'm making money, but I'm also happy that I can help people who are less fortunate in a way. And I have another story of a tenant in one of my properties. She was actually the girlfriend of the man that I bought it from. And she was a domestic worker. She was someone's housekeeper. Really nice lady. And she and the boyfriend eventually broke up, but she stayed on living in the home with her son. And I knew that she wasn't making a lot of money, and I never raised the rent. I owned that property for 16 years. 16 years, and I never raised the rent on her. She was able to put her son through college. He's in medical school now, and hopefully he's going to be a doctor one day. I did sell that property, but before I sold it, I gave her 8 months notice that I was going to sell the property, and her son was already in medical school anyway. It was just her living there, and I wasn't going to put her out in the street, but I gave her plenty of time to find a new place to live that she could afford, and she appreciated that, and she was happy. And I go to bed every night feeling like I've done a good deed. I'm making money, but I'm not doing it on the backs of the less fortunate. And I feel like I've contributed to making this world a better place. As small of an impact as it may be, it's better than not doing anything. I possibly could be the reason why this young boy was able to grow up in a stable home. She was a single mother, go to college, go to medical school, and become a doctor one day. To me, that's priceless. And that's why I'm a landlord with a heart. Hope you enjoyed it. We all do what we can do. Make it a great one.